Today, we're going to be looking at things that are a little bit more advanced. We're going to be looking at how to draw the face. Faces being as important as they are, they're always absolutely key in any cartoon that you're going to do. But we're going to look at it from a slightly more advanced viewpoint, referencing the way, for instance, that Disney animators would design a human face. So we're going a little bit more advanced, but you'll still find it really quite simple to follow, and I do hope that you get a lot out of it. And don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Love to have you on board. Now, what we have here are the two types of face that we have already been through. So I've drawn them in here. You don't need to see me drawing them again. But here on the left, you have the one that we would describe as the most basic one, which really just shows you a kind of a map of the face where you've got the crosshairs on something that's a bit like a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. And then you append the nose. You kind of hang it off the middle and then draw the eyes around it. The second one shows you the kind of 3D-ness, the sphere of how heads are. But they're not, if we're honest, even though that's quite nice, quite attractive, and you can build characters from it, it's not how heads are. So what I want to show you now is the kind of drawing that's used by Disney animators and the like. Disney animators take things on, as you would imagine, to a slightly higher level. It still starts with a circle, or something like a circle, and it starts also like the sphere. But they'll drop that line right down like this, and then they'll take their equator line like this. But really, that's just the start. They'll put the eyes in like this. Let's go a bit bigger. And bear in mind that the one that's furthest away is going to be slightly smaller. I mean, we don't need to pick that over at the moment, but there is the question of perspective, which means that anything that's further away from you will be smaller than it would have been if it was closer to you. So now they would have something like a nose like this that would be a bit more nose-like rather than my normal circle, which I've been using. From there on, they start to think more anatomically. A human face has cheekbones, for instance. So what they'll do is they'll start out with a line like this, bring it down to a jaw, and now that will come back up there to that side, and we'll start to, we'll put an ear on it, and the eyes will be given eyelids, because all eyes have eyelids. Now those eyelids could be anywhere on the sort of socket, if you like. They could be anywhere, but I choose to put them just right there in the middle. Another aspect which they'll always be thinking about, and you'll find this if you've ever watched somebody like the Disney artist Aaron Blaise. He's very keen on what he calls the meat on a head. So this would be here where the eyebrows are. We don't want to get too Neanderthal, but that's how it is. And then you would have the eyebrows coming in like this. So you can already see that it's far more advanced than the 3D sphere. We've got a cheek that comes out. That's the meat, as he would call it. Aaron Blaise I'm talking about again. Now if we now put a smile on here, and let's remember that they shouldn't be completely symmetrical. Let's just put a smile on here. Again, we're still keeping this fairly simple. We're not going too far. I've given him a bottom lip as well. We all have those, hopefully. And then there are the creases around that go between the nose and the mouth. Now, on very young subjects, they're probably not going to be there at all. You don't get those till you're probably in your 20s as a rule. So now we can continue to kind of sculpt this shape. Let's also give him a little cleft in the chin, because that gives character. And as you can see, we're now getting to the point where, we'll have this person with some eyes. some irises and pupils in there, so that we can see that they're looking our way. The real fun of it, let's put a bit of hair on as well, just because in a moment we're going to ink this, and you'll see once you get rid of all the construction lines that appear there, it just looks so much more advanced than the other, the ones above, shall we say. So now we'll go to inking, and let's just draw it as though we were working from paper, and we can see we're using these pencil lines. Really, there's nothing more than a guide. They're not to be absolutely slavishly followed. They're just a guide, and we start to see something develop that's a lot more like a human face than the sphere. Here we are. You can see these eyebrows. They're not particularly expressive eyebrows here. It's just somebody looking kind of happy in their own little way. We'll leave out, to draw the eyes, you don't want the full circle there anymore. You just want the lid. There you are, something along those lines. Little lines under the eyes, because most people have got something there. And now this nose, which I've done very much in a Disney style. The mouth creases, the smile. And we'll just put that little neck in there, finish off this hair. Let's imagine that we now erase all the pencil marks. This leaves us with a much more human face. Now, where I said before that we don't want the whole round socket of the eye, we want, I think, to have a little trace of something just above, just to show what that should be. And here we are. Let's black in the iris a little bit there. A couple of little marks on the nose to show that it is actually a nose, and it is three-dimensional. And now you start to get the idea of how they do it in the super professional world of Disney. And we'll have a go at doing the female version of this. Something I personally have always found a little bit more challenging, because if you want to produce somebody who looks quite appealing, and I'm generally quite a lot better at doing people who are far less appealing, to be honest, but we'll just drop this down here, and we'll do, basically doing the underdrawing, the markings. What you do usually with female characters, you give them much less of a nose. We don't want the nose to be too huge, generally. I mean, there are times when you would, obviously, but for the purpose of this drawing, we won't. I'll put in the eyes, again like this. Oh, we want them to be fairly big, don't we? Because they need to be wide awake. Let's put in, there you can see there. Now, the meat is that cheekbone there. And one of the differences generally between men and women is that men have a far more prominent jawline than women do. And so we'll just take that around like that. You can already see that it looks more feminine. I'm not going to bother drawing an ear there, because it's probably going to have fairly long hair. Eyebrows. In the modern day, people seem not to want to have them. They want to have them drawn on or tattooed on. So let's go with that. Let's not kick against how things are. There's the eye. Give it a little bit of a smile under there, which is we've been through before, where you put you bunch up the flesh under the eye. Now we'll have a smile like this. And you can really see how it's developing already. Now, again, because it's a woman, we'll have some eyelashes. That means that we exaggerate the eyelid like this. Okay, I know it's all being a bit sexist, but this is how Disney type drawing works. Really, they always want to make men big and muscular and women all, attractive, sweet and pleasant and all the rest of it, when of course many of them aren't. We'll go for a bit of a chummy smile from our lady here, like this. We'll give her some nice teeth as well there. See, that's fairly chummy, isn't it? I'm not going to go overboard with, big lips and things, but we want some lips, and we'll have a bottom one as well, like that. So now you can see it quite clearly female, and we'll add some hair. I don't know why, I'm always drawn to this kind of hair when I draw girls and women. That or something very matronly, but this isn't a matronly type character. We give her bob, bangs, whatever you want to call it, like this. And now we'll go ahead and we'll add some ink so that we can make her just as, quite similar to the chap above. Let's get the hair in first, like this. And the eyelash, the eyebrow. Once you've got the underdrawing done, you can do things in whatever order you prefer. Underdrawing is really, really important in these things. I mean, I know for sure that there are people who can do brilliant cartoons like this without ever even thinking about doing an underdrawing, and I take my hat off to them. I am not one of them. I like to get everything planned out. Friends of mine who know me for things other than this will probably laugh in their heads off when I say that I like to get everything planned out, because this in other spheres is not really my strong point. But anyway, the cartoon smile is there. Bottom lip goes there. Bit of a grin, nothing too cheesy. She's quite matey looking, isn't she? She's quite friendly. And there she is. Now we'll give her just a vestige of where the eyelid goes up over the eye socket and all that, and there you are. There she goes. That's how she looks. Now this is again, we can take instead of using a pen, we can sort of do something quite interesting here by emphasizing certain things by using a brush. Now I'm doing this digitally, but this would be with an ink, a bottle of ink and a very small brush, and you can get a bit more emphasis and a bit more style sometimes if you use a brush. It's a big thing in the world of comic drawing, and I quite like it. I don't use it all the time. Quite like it for certain things. There you are. Put that eyelash there. Tidy this up just a bit, and then for fun we'll drop a little bit of white onto the pupil there, onto the iris, and suddenly she's got a bit of shine in the eye. So that's the essence of the sort of more complex Disney standard type of drawing. Practice it every day. Do it every day. You'll get better and better and better at it. And one thing I'd also like to just point out here, you've got people who've got birthdays coming up, and you're probably thinking, I'll buy them a birthday present, whether they're family, friends, school people, colleagues at work. By all means, go and buy them a present. But what you could do as well is get them to sign up for my cartoon club. If you send them a link and say, well, subscribe to that and you'll be getting lessons forever, then do so. It's a free present. Buy them something nice as well, but this would be good for them too. Also, just below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button yourself. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. I do hope it's been instructive for you, and I'll see you next time.